Sum up 2024 for Barrow.
It was like a season of sort of 2 halves, really. For us, we went into it, we've sort of planned really well in the off season. We knew we had a massive task. It was all about building the girls with some confidence and belief, really, on the back of what was a good season the season before, and has been really from our start as a group. Really, we've only ever gone forward, and that's what we mainly talk about. We don't talk about winning or whether we lose or success. We talk about always taking a step forward. Everything we do is we do it to our best, and that's all you can ask of the girls, really. 2024 was one of those that nobody really knew. It was a piece of history in the fact that no team had done it before in Cumbria, and we were still an all Cumbrian team. So we believed as coaches that we were good enough to be there, and we were determined we were going to stay there, and just making sure that the girls were equipped enough and that they had that belief too. And as we got sort of playing those big teams, so we played Wigan in the Challenge Cup, we then played Wigan at DW and come close. We played Leeds at home and came close, and York at home and came close. Yeah, we didn't get the win, but because we talk about measuring, doing our best and what we can achieve, the girls were doing that. They were ticking all the boxes in terms of tactical awareness and becoming much more technical in what they were doing, and sort of striving forward on taking on those challenges. They were enjoying it, and I knew once they started to enjoy those challenges, those tough challenges, that we were going to be all right. And then we decided as a group to gather halfway through the season and reset focus. So for the first time we talked about winning. We need to win to get fifth spot. We wanted to put the pressure on to see how they handled that and to see whether how much they wanted it as well. So we did that, and that was our focus. We didn't hide the fact. We put it out there. That's what we wanted. We got some funny comments about it, but we decided that that's what we were going to do, and it was good. It did change things a little bit because the team and the girls became competitive. They all wanted that starting shirt. They all wanted to be in that team that was going to do that. But yeah. And then the rest is history, I guess. We went on and we got that fifth spot.
People say, if you want to get better, you have to play against the bigger teams and the better teams from challenge. Is it about that challenge? Is that what the players take out of it to see what it takes to be up there?
I guess to a degree, yeah. I think the one thing that sort of puts us a little bit behind in terms of the area is that it's still growing. So we've just started our 15s, 16s, 19s in Cumbria. So there's still a lot of work to do at grassroots, and we're probably starved of lots and lots of rugby played in schools and competitive rugby played in schools or in clubs. That lack of competition, does affect players, in my opinion. So growing up there myself as an athlete, I know because I experienced it. So it wasn't until I did like nationals and stuff like that I got that experience where, areas like, Wigan, Leeds and stuff, they're just competitive environments, and they're in that environment every week. So they probably experience something competitive every week, whether it be at school or at a club, where around the Barrow area and in Cumbria there's less of it. So I do think that plays a massive part in their development. So, as coaches we have to prepare them the best we can, sort of technically, but then tactically as well. We worked on quite a lot of that last year, so looking at the teams we were playing, but making sure they're equipped to be able to take on the best. Yes, they've got to know what the best is or what that level is, so that gives you that with Super League. Sometimes it can have a different effect on them because, playing teams like Saints, I would say we didn't come near Saints last year, just far too quick, too fit, just everything was just at the next level. But they never give up. We still found a way as a team to recognise that in every great successful team there's weaknesses, and we just focus on what are their weaknesses, how can we get a bit nearer to that competition. So yeah, for us I think competition is important. really is important, because if you're just playing lesser teams, you know, you're not really challenging yourself. And I think these girls thrive on that challenge as well, as I do as a coach.
Those top 4 teams, when they play Barrow, they know they're in for a challenge rather than some of the other teams. But potentially, I don't want to say anything bad about other teams.
No, and I think, you know, I've been around the sport enough to know earlier on in the season or pre-season, you know, you've got a lot of people saying, oh, it'd be nice to have Barrow in the league, and oh, all the best and stuff for the season. It all felt a little bit nice, you know, a little bit, you know, like a token gesture and everything. And I didn't want my team to be that team, and the girls are not about that either. It's like I say, we try and prepare them to be the best they can, and you know, knowing what that is, we didn't until we, you know, went into that first game. And as soon as we played Wigan at home in the Challenge Cup, we knew that, you know, we weren't miles off in terms of where we were. But I think there's so many different things that make up a team for me. So like, people might look at the Saints game where we lost at St Helens quite heavily, the last game of the season. We had some key players out. I thought it was important that I played 2 players that had not played all season. Game time was important. You know, they were part of the squad, so I wanted to give them game time. But Saints came off and, you know, couldn't wait to genuinely thank our girls for a great game, and just went on about how tough it is and how they pushed them right to the edge, even though the scoreline didn't reflect that. And I think that's what we sort of talk about as a group, really. We go out and we make sure that we give everything. Defence is massive, and their mindset and togetherness in defence is good. You know what I mean? They want to stop teams being the best they can. They want to make sure they can break teams down, and they never give up. They work for each other. The honesty and hard work stuff is all important, and I think, you know, that is something that makes them the team they are. With the ball in hand, it's just keep working on being able to make them technically and tactically where the other teams have. And like I say, we haven't had the luxury of them years and years of competition, so it's just about training and, you know, video work and stuff like that, and to just keep putting them in, you know, different scenarios to just educate them in how they can start being a little bit smarter with the ball in hand. But just exciting for me. It's, you know, it's every game's completely different. We go into it with whatever plans we have each time, you know, and they're completely different. You know, work each game, we'll plan that week, right, how are we attacking this game, what does it look like. The common theme is work hard. I mean, work hard and be together on the game.
Lots of hard work from a lot of individuals involved in women's rugby league. But it was easy after Vegas for people to rip into the sport. What did you feel after that game and the result?
To be honest, I just feel that the game, I like to say, you know, people make decisions for whatever reason, and, you know, me commenting, I don't know the ins and outs of everything that went on. But for me, you know, the men stage the game, and the men's game is in a completely different place than the women's game, and they're only just staging on that big stage. And you're talking Wigan and Warrington, and I feel that Wigan did perform on that big stage, but I'm not so sure Warrington did. So, you know, you could look at that and focus on that and say, well, actually Warrington didn't perform, didn't look particularly great, they didn't look the team they can be. And then looking at the women's, why are we putting them on that big stage? I still feel that it's developing. You know, we're still only part-time players, still juggling life and training, everything else. We're still educating them in a lot of ways on how to become stronger and more powerful, how to train like a rugby player rather than just play rugby and train and keep fit. You know, so there's such a lot of work gone on, and we are still developing players. Is the game moving forward? Definitely. But do we need to showcase it on such a big stage? Not really, I don't feel. I think, you know, focus on the positives, focus on last season. Last season there were some unbelievable games, some very, very competitive games, some absolutely brilliant rugby play. You know, like York having a troubled year, but then went on to win the grand final, and they won it through sheer grit, just working so hard and just grind St Helens down. They're the sort of things we need to focus on, because the game has grown so much that we don't need to put it on that stage to gain anything. So for me, I don't know what we were gaining from it. That's just my opinion. As a coach, I don't feel you're going to gain anything by playing it on that stage. If you want to play some tough games, go and find some tough games. You know, maybe don't pick up teams like Wales and stuff to play. Play more competitive games as an international team, but do we need to stage it for everyone to comment? I just don't feel it's fair on the girls.